Have you ever wondered how to handle the most troublesome people in your life? Imagine walking through life unfazed by the bitter words or actions of others. A reality where your peace is unshaken and your mind remains steadfast. A tantalizing prospect, wouldn't you agree? And yet, it's not as far-fetched as it might seem. This isn't a new, groundbreaking self-help technique. Instead, it's a concept that's been around for centuries. The answer may lie in an ancient philosophy known as Stoicism. Stoicism, a school of philosophy founded in Athens, gives us some insight into dealing with troublesome people. Stoicism is a timeless philosophy that emphasizes calmness, self-control, and discipline. It was founded in the 3rd century BC by Zeno of Citium and later popularized by the likes of Epictetus, Seneca, and the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism is based on the understanding that while we cannot always control external events, we can control our responses to them. The first principle of Stoicism is acceptance. Stoics believe in accepting things as they come, without complaint or resistance. This includes accepting people for who they are, even if they are difficult or challenging. The Stoics teach us that it is not people or events that disturb us, but our reactions to them. Thus, by accepting what we cannot change, we rid ourselves of unnecessary distress. Next, we have control. Stoics focus on what they can control and let go of what they cannot. In the case of dealing with problematic people, we cannot control their actions or attitudes, but we can control our reactions to them. We can choose not to let their negativity affect us. Instead, we can respond with patience, understanding, and compassion. This shift in focus from what's outside of our control to what's within it can significantly reduce stress and improve our interactions with others. Finally, the Stoics teach us about the impermanence of all things. This principle reminds us that everything, including challenging situations or people, will pass in due course. It encourages us to maintain perspective and not let temporary difficulties overwhelm us. Stoicism, therefore, provides a practical framework for dealing with difficult people. It teaches us to accept things as they are, focus on what we can control, and remember the impermanence of all things. By applying these principles, we can learn to navigate the challenges that difficult people present. But how do we apply these principles when dealing with problematic people? Imagine someone criticizes you unfairly. The natural reaction might be to react defensively or with anger. But the Stoic approach is different. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause, creating a space between the criticism and your response. This pause allows you to consider if there is any truth in the criticism. If there is, you can use it as a learning opportunity. If there isn't, you can choose not to take it personally. By doing so, you take control of your emotions rather than let them control you. Now let's look at another scenario. You're in a heated conflict with someone. A typical response might be to escalate, to fight fire with fire. But the Stoic way is to seek understanding over confrontation. Instead of arguing, you listen. You seek to understand the other person's perspective and why they feel the way they do. This approach, though challenging, can lead to constructive dialogue and potentially resolve the conflict. But what about when we're dealing with negative emotions? We all experience them. Fear, anger, sadness, envy. These emotions can be overwhelming and can cloud our judgment. Stoicism offers a powerful tool in dealing with these emotions: reframing. Instead of seeing a situation as bad, we can reframe it as an opportunity for growth. For example, a setback can be seen as a chance to become more resilient, a rejection as a chance to improve, a loss as a chance to appreciate what we still have. Stoicism doesn't promise a life without problems. What it does offer is a way to deal with problems more effectively. It helps us realize that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. And that in itself is a form of power. In every interaction, remember, we have the power to choose our responses. So, what have we learned from Stoicism about dealing with difficult people? We've delved into the principles of Stoicism, understanding that control lies within us, not in external events or individuals. We've discovered that by applying these principles, viewing challenges as opportunities for growth and focusing on what we can control, we can better navigate interactions with challenging individuals. Embrace Stoicism, and you might just find that the most troublesome people in your life aren't so troublesome after all.